The 2026 World Cup winner has already been decided, not by the betting markets, which currently have three teams sharing the odds at the top, not by the pundits, who are naming the same countries they name every 4 years, by something more specific, by a 64-year pattern in World Cup history that has never been broken once, by squad age curves that peak and drop in predictable cycles, and by a format change so significant it reshapes who can win this tournament and who simply cannot. Here's the thing. Most fans are watching the wrong indicators. They're looking at star players and recent form and transfer market spend. Those things matter. But they're not what decides World Cups. What decides World Cups is timing. And right now, one team's timing is perfect. One famous team's timing has quietly run out. And one team that nobody outside their continent is taking seriously is about to remind the world why they shouldn't have been ignored. We're going through all of it. 5 predictions, 1 clear answer. Let's go. Section 1. Why 2026 is different. Before the predictions, you need to understand one thing. Because 2026 is not just a bigger World Cup, it is a structurally different one. 48 teams, not 32. That sounds like a number. It is actually a complete reshaping of how this tournament works. Under the old format, the group stage was brutal. 4 teams, 3 games, 2 advance. 1 bad performance and you were on a flight home before the knockout rounds even started. Spain in 2014, Germany in 2018. Defending champions, best teams on the planet, gone before the round of 16. That format had no mercy. The new format has mercy. 12 groups of 4. Top 2 from each group go through automatically. But then the 8 best third-place finishers across all 12 groups also advance, which means a team can have a below-average group stage, finish third, and still be in the tournament. There is a safety net now. There was never a safety net before. Here's where it gets interesting. That safety net does not help every team equally. It specifically helps teams with depth, teams that can rotate, teams that can afford to manage fitness in the early rounds and save their best football for later. Elite squads with 23 genuinely good players benefit from this format far more than squads built around 5 stars and a lot of hope. Keep that in mind. The format is not neutral. It favors certain types of teams, and that is the first piece of the puzzle. Prediction 1. Argentina will not win this World Cup. That sentence will feel wrong to a lot of people. Argentina are the defending champions. Messi is playing, their squad is tactically complete, and their betting odds reflect genuine quality. None of that is wrong. But here is the detail that matters. No national team has successfully defended the World Cup title since Brazil in 1958 and 1962. That is 64 years, 6 World Cups, 0 repeat champions. This is not bad luck. It is a structural pattern. Winning a World Cup is the most physically and mentally demanding achievement in international football. The squad that peaks to win one tournament has to then rebuild that collective sharpness over 4 years, manage the weight of being champions, age naturally across an entire squad cycle, and somehow find that same peak alignment again 4 years later. Great teams get studied. Tactical setups that worked get countered. Key players enter their 30s. Argentina's core squad is older than it was in Qatar. Messi is 39 during this tournament. The emotional weight of his last World Cup is enormous, and emotional weight cuts both ways. It motivates through difficult moments. It also creates pressure that can freeze a squad at exactly the wrong time. In theory, Argentina can absolutely reach the final. They probably will, but the 64-year pattern and the squad cycle both point in the same direction. And there is no compelling reason to believe 2026 will be the first exception in over 6 decades. Prediction 2. Morocco again. Prediction 2. Morocco reaches the semi-finals again. If you watch Qatar 2022, you already know what Morocco showed the world. First African nation to reach the semi-finals in World Cup history. They beat Belgium, eliminated Spain on penalties, ended Portugal's campaign, held France to a single goal that required an elite finish to produce. Everyone called it an upset. It was not an upset. It was a team performing exactly at the level their actual quality warranted. Here is what makes Morocco different from a standard dark horse. They are not peaking. They have been building. Their manager, Walid Regragui, has had 4 additional years with the core squad that reached the semifinals. Those defenders, that midfield structure, that press intensity, that completely dismantled Spain's possession game, those players are now in their mid to late 20s. the age range where tournament footballers tend to perform at their absolute best. A genuine dark horse is a team you know very little about. Morocco is no longer that. They have already proven on the biggest stage in football that their defensive structure can handle elite attacking units, that their tactical discipline under pressure is genuine, that they do not lose composure when the stakes are highest. In a 48-team tournament where the format rewards patience and defensive organization, Morocco is not a surprise. Morocco is a contender. Prediction 3. The giant that falls early. Prediction 3. A former world champion exits in the group stage, and the most likely candidate is Brazil. This is the boldest prediction in this video. So let me be precise. Brazil have not won a World Cup since 2002. That is 24 years without a title for the most successful national team in the history of the competition. In every tournament since, they have arrived as heavy favorites and exited in ways that felt shocking in the moment. But in hindsight, they followed a consistent pattern. Tactical fragility under real pressure. Internal dressing room tension when results go wrong. The specific weight of expectation that comes with wearing that shirt in a way no other national team fully experiences. Their South American qualifying campaign was not convincing. They finished behind Argentina, Uruguay, and Colombia. They lost matches they were not supposed to lose. Now put them in Group C, with Morocco, with Scotland returning to their first World Cup since 1998. On paper, manageable. In practice, Morocco are 8th in the world and coming off the greatest African World Cup performance in history. Scotland are motivated and organized, and Brazil historically respond to early tournament adversity with internal friction rather than collective resolve. Their individual quality is real, but the structural vulnerabilities that ended their last 4 World Cup campaigns are still there. And in a 48-team field with a more complex bracket, those vulnerabilities have more opportunities to surface. Which brings us to prediction 4, the winner. The team lifting the trophy at MetLife Stadium on July 19th is Spain. Here is the case. Spain's squad is the youngest of any traditional contender at this tournament, built around Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Gavi, and Nico Williams. Players who were teenagers at Euro 2024 and are now 21, 22, 23, with major tournament experience already embedded in them. That is not a young squad finding their feet. That is a young squad that has already been tested and passed. Euro 2024 was the proof of concept. They won every knockout match. They beat the teams they were supposed to beat, and they beat the teams that genuinely pushed them. The collective maturity was already there a year ago. It is only more developed now, but here is what actually seals it. The 2026 format was almost designed for how Spain play. Their system, possession, press, patient positional build-up, rewards patience in the early rounds and peaks in the knockouts. The more games they play, the more the system settles in. An extra round of 32 match before the serious knockout rounds begin is, for a squad of this quality, an additional warm-up before the real tournament starts. Every indicator lines up. Squad age, tactical system, tournament experience, format alignment, coach development alongside the players. Spain's cycle peaks in 2026 in the same way Argentina's peaked in 2022. The timing is right, the squad is ready, the format suits them. No prediction is certain. But if you are looking for the team where everything points in the same direction at the same time, it is Spain. Prediction 5. This is not about a team. It is about the tournament itself. The defining story of 2026 will not be a player. It will not be a country. It will be the format. 48 nations at a single World Cup. The round of 32, a round that has never existed at a World Cup before. Teams that have never previously reached the knockout stage of this competition will technically be in the knockouts. Nations making their debut: Cape Verde, Curacao, Jordan, Uzbekistan. Curacao have a population of 156,000 people. They are the smallest nation by population to ever qualify for a men's World Cup. They are about to play Germany. Some group stage matches will be significant mismatches. And the conversation that will emerge about whether 48 teams served the competition or diluted it is already beginning. It will run beneath every result from the opening game to the final. And when people look back at 2026 in 4 years, they will talk about the winner. But they will also talk about whether this was the right decision. That question does not have an answer yet. The tournament will answer it for us. So, 5 predictions. Argentina does not win back-to-back. The 64-year pattern holds. Morocco returns to the semifinals because they were never a dark horse to begin with. Brazil exits earlier than anyone is predicting. Spain lifts the trophy at MetLife because their timing, their squad, and their system all align in 2026 in a way that only happens once in a generation. And the format becomes the story that defines how this tournament is remembered, regardless of who wins. Some of these will be right, some will be wrong. But the reasoning, the squad cycles, the format mechanics, the historical patterns that part stands, regardless of how the results fall. Here is the one sentence that ties it all together. The 2026 World Cup winner was not decided today. It was decided by 4 years of squad building, timing, and a format change that rewards exactly one style of football. And that team is already in Spain's dressing room. The tournament starts now. Drop your predictions in the comments who lifts the trophy and who goes home early. Subscribe if you want the kind of coverage that goes underneath the surface of every result as this tournament unfolds. Because the history of this competition is built on outcomes nobody predicted, and this one will be no different.